This is a video on how to find gram formula mass and percent composition by Camille Castleberry. Gram formula mass is just basically the sum of all of the atomic masses of the elements in a compound, and those are just more in-depth book definitions. Okay, how to find gram formula mass. First, you have to write down your formula for your compound, and then second, you're going to find how many of each atom are in the compound. Third, you're going to multiply the amount of atoms by the atomic mass of the element. And then last, you're just going to add all of the products together and write it in grams per mole, which is G over mole. Our first example is sodium bicarbonate, and so first you have to find your formula, which would be 2NaHCO3. So once you've written down your formula, you need to find how many of each atom are in the compound. So the 2 is going to distribute to all of your atoms, and because of the 3 on the O, that'll make it 6, while the rest just have 2. So you're going to take the 2 and multiply it by each atom's atomic mass. And if you're following my work, you can see that the total for sodium is 45.98, the total for hydrogen is 2.016, for carbon 24.022, and oxygen is 95.994. So then you're going to add them all together, and then you should get 168.012 grams per mole. Our second gram formula mass example is sucrose. The formula for sucrose is C12H22O11. Since there's nothing but subscripts, you can see that there's 12 carbons, 22 hydrogens, and 11 oxygens. Then you're going to take the amount of atoms and multiply it by the atomic mass, and you can see that carbon would be 144.132, hydrogen is 22.176, and oxygen is 175.989. Then all you have to do is add them all together, and you should get 342.297 grams per mole. Next is percent composition, and it's basically just the percent of how much of an element is in the compound. And those are just other fancier definitions. How to find percent composition. What you're going to do first is you're going to find which element's percent composition you're going to try to find. Then steps 2 through 4 are the same that you would do for gram formula mass. So in step 5, you're going to divide the elements you're finding's total atomic mass by the total gram formula mass. And then once you get that number, all you have to do is multiply by 100, and that'll give you your percentage. Our first example is going to be sodium bicarbonate, whose gram formula mass you found earlier, but it's asking you to find the percent composition of carbon. So you're going to do your gram formula mass steps and find that the gram formula mass is equal to 168.012. So once you get that number, you're going to take what you found carbon to be, which was 24.022, and divide it by your total gram formula mass. You should come out with 0.1429778825. Once you get that number, you're going to multiply it by 100, and you should round up to about 14.3%. And that'll give you the percent composition of carbon in sodium bicarbonate. Our next and last example is going to be for sucrose, whose gram formula mass you also found earlier. But it's asking you to find how much oxygen is used in sucrose. So you're going to take your steps that you use for GFM, and you should come out with 342.297 grams per mole. Once you get that number, you need to take what you found oxygen to be, which is 175.989, and divide it by the total gram formula mass. You should come up with 0.51414122282. Then you take that number and you multiply it by 100, and you're going to come up with about 51.4%. And that's going to be the percent composition of oxygen in sucrose. And that's all I've got on gram formula mass and percent composition, and here are my credits. Thanks!